Hey, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you haven't been here before, my name is Emma and I'm a romance writer based in the UK. So it has been more than 4 years since I made a video for this channel about how I did not consider myself to be a full-time writer, how I never had been. And I speak in the video about how I did not imagine that I would ever be a full-time writer. So I was thinking about this and wondering whether that actually still held true, because things have definitely changed for me in the last 4 years. So, do I still believe that? Is that still the case with my work? So, 4 years ago, I had only quite recently started my YouTube channel, I believe. I did work as an editor, but fairly infrequently. It was more proofreading work that I was still doing, I believe, at that point. I did not offer the book coaching that I do now, and I did not teach creative writing at my local community centre as I do now. I'm not quite sure off the top of my head, and not having properly thought to check, what point I was at in terms of how many books I had published at that point, and whether I was self publishing or whether I was with my publisher at that point. I think that I was with my publisher and that some of my older self published books had been bought out again, and also a brand new book. So I did have quite a few books out. Basically, what I'm getting at is that I was not working to the extent that I do now within the publishing industry. So I would probably still maintain that I do not work full time as a writer. And that is because I don't sit down for 40 hours a week, if you like, and write. Um, but having said that, all the work that I do is within the publishing industry or related to writing in some way. So, obviously, my teaching creative writing is the book editing that I offer, the book coaching that I offer. And yeah, all the other bits that I do along with this YouTube channel, it all kind of feeds in together to make a career, if you like, which I kind of fell into. I did not set out planning to become a writer. I wrote a book and then I wrote another book and they got taken on by a publisher. And there were lots and lots of ups and downs in that journey. But essentially, we've got to the point now where I believe I have 17 books available now and like 19 or 20 written. Um, and I have publishing contracts going forward, books in the works to fulfill those. So I think it is fair to say that I am officially, if you like, a professional author at this point. This is what I do. But like I say, I didn't set out along this path. And what I've kind of done is built up my business, my career, as opportunities have arisen for me and as my life has changed over the last few years so that I am able to take on more work. 4 years ago, I had all of my boys still at home. They were still all being home educated. I needed to spend a lot more time on that side of things than I do now. I've been deserted by two of my sons now. A third will be leaving me in a few months, and I'm probably finished with home education now. And so, yeah, my life is looking very different. I do have more time to be able to devote to my career now. And as that career has progressed, I have had, like I say, more opportunities that have become available to me. I've done public speaking as well as going more into the teaching side of things, which has been fantastic for my own writing because I've really learned so much more about storytelling, but also creativity and how different people work best, which has been really, really important when it comes to me being able to help other writers. So yeah, it has just changed hugely what I actually do. If I looked at my just how I spend my day now compared to when I made that video 4 years ago, it really is quite different. Much more of my time now is spent on my business, be that writing or editing or any other kind of little bit of it. Am I full time? I would still say no. There will definitely be weeks when I work full time hours. I would say if I worked it out, not that I ever do bother, to be honest, I never kind of sit down and write out how many hours I work. I just kind of do what I need to, what I can in that particular week. I would argue, though, that there are definitely times when I don't work anything like full time hours. It kind of just depends on what my workload is like. And I love the fact, and it's very important to me, that I have the ability to just step back if I need to. You know, I work for myself, and if at any point something comes up which is more important, frankly, I can just step back. And um, yeah, that is always something that for me I need to have in my life. It's incredibly important to me. I also i completely choose my own hours. I would never, for example, start working before 10 a.m. in the morning, just because I'm good for nothing before 10 a.m. in the morning. And that is actually quite early for me to actually sit down and properly start writing. I'm someone who needs a good couple of hours to just accept the day, to have a cup of tea, to shower, to walk the dogs, just to be for a little bit before the old brain gets going. But I might then still be working occasionally at 1 a.m. in the morning. I really am trying not to do that. I'm trying to finish much earlier in the evening, because I don't like that kind of checking the clock and realizing it's 1 a.m. and quick, trying to get to bed. I don't think that that's the best way to spend your evening. But like I say, I work a variety of different hours. I work whenever I want. If I want to take a day off, I will. If I just want to, go out and do something fun, I will. Um, and so, for that reason, I would still say that I do not work full time, because I am not beholden to a certain number of hours. And yeah, I do think that by the time you kind of take into account all of my procrastination, messing around, and things, it's not going to be 40 hours a week. I think that's definitely fair to say, especially because I like to break up my work a lot. So although I might be working on and off from 10 o'clock in the morning, say 10 o'clock in the morning until, let's say, 9 o'clock at night, okay, I might be working. It'll be on and off. During that time, I'll cook dinner, I'll do some housework, I'll help one of my kids with something, I will go and walk the dogs, I might pop out to the shop to go and get something, I will have a nice coffee, whatever. It's all broken up. So although that is 11 hours a day, it's really not that I'm sat there working for 11 hours of that day. It'll probably be more like 6. So yeah, although I I do have a lot going on, and I do work hard when I am working, and it is important to me to hit deadlines. I want to be reliable. I don't want to be somebody that my editors or my clients think that they can't rely on. That really is important to me. But yeah, I it is not full time, as in 40 hours a week and having to be at a desk for a certain amount of time each day, or from this time to this time. Yeah, there we go. I'm a free spirit. I cannot be contained within certain hours of work. And I suspect that I always will be like that. And it is one of the many, many things that I love about being a writer. The fact that, yeah, there will be times when I will sit there and I will be deep in drafting or in edits, and or lose track of time completely. And there'll be other times when there'll be a week where I really don't do very much at all, but maybe I'm just refilling my creative well, maybe I'm taking some time for myself, maybe I'm being inspired by different things that I'm doing. And all of that is fantastic and is all part of the writing process. So there you go. Well, thank you very much for joining me today. I would love to know how many viewers out there consider yourselves to be full-time writers. Do you sit down from a particular time to a particular time on so many days a week and do your writing? Do you see it like that, like a proper job, if you like? Or are you more like me and you mix it up, and that sometimes you're working really, really hard to get something finished for a deadline, but other times it is much, much more relaxed and you're really prioritizing other things in your life? Because for me, I love my work. I love writing and I love helping other authors, but it will never be the most important thing in my life. And I am very, very aware of that at all times, of not letting it overwhelm or overly affect the other areas of my life. But if you have enjoyed this video today, please consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already, because we have a lot of fun on this channel, and I will catch you in the next one.